Hi guys, I'm Tony and I'm the Bored Housewife. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about an exciting topic that I always like to talk about, and that's how me and my husband met. You guys all know how we met. We met online, but today we're going to talk about the before Arvin. So when I started online dating profile, I didn't have any high hopes for it because you kind of have the same, like either one thing or the other, like people who want to sleep with each other and that's it, like no strings attached fun, and then people who are trying to find something else, like whether it's friendship, just companionship or relationship, they're in that group. So when I was starting out, I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time. I didn't think that I was really gonna find the person I was gonna be with. Like, I had hopes for it, but I didn't really think that was what was gonna happen. So, before Arvin, before we ever met, before we were ever talking on that site, POF, Plenty of Fish, we dated other people, and because we dated other people, I'm about to tell you about my experience with my date from hell. Like, that TV show that comes on, I think it's ID or whatever, one of those channels, and it's like My Date from Hell. It was pretty bad. It wasn't like a psycho killer or I felt like my life was in danger, but one of those times where you're just like, what did I get myself into? It was one of those times. So let's just start from the beginning. I met this guy, we're gonna call him Richard. His name wasn't Richard, and I don't know anybody named Richard. But let's say his name was Richard. I met Richard. He seemed like a nice guy. His profile picture was like, meh. But he seemed nice. Like, he reached out to me. We talked. He was funny, and then he asked me out. And so, of course, around that time, I was not saying no, like, unless you were a creep or just wanted to Netflix and chill. That was the only time I said no. But so if it was a legitimate date, I would go. Like, I was open-minded. So we went out. I think we went to like Outback or Applebee's, but I think it was Outback. But anyway, he was there first. When I got there, I was shown to the table. He got up. He said, you look nice, blah, blah. All perfectly normal things, I think. And so I sit down and we're just talking, I would say his picture did him justice. Let's just put it that way. But like I said, he was a nice person and I'm a nice person. So let's go be nice together. And so we're eating, we're talking, and he brings up that, he's had an interesting day, and that right before the date, he pulled out one of his teeth. He pulled out one of his teeth. Hmm? Like, he was my age or around my age. I think at the time I was 24, 25. So he was around that age. So you probably shouldn't just be losing teeth. So that's one thing, because if I tried to hide my disgust on my from my face, so I was just like, oh, you pulled out a tooth. Well, man, that must have hurt. And he was just like, no, it didn't really hurt. It was kind of loose and it was bothering me, so I just pulled it out. Like, what type of mess is going on in your mouth that you can just pull a tooth out? What kind of person are you? And what type of pain tolerance do you have if you could just pull out a tooth? I don't know. I've never pulled out a tooth, but I feel like it's up there. It's like in a bone or something. Like, it's there and it wants to be there, and you have to pull it out with force unless it's rotting. And if that's the case, why are you 25, 26 with rotting teeth? Anyway, so we go through the dinner. I put that to the side. You're just like, ew. I put that to the side. We still have a pretty good time. Nothing else weird happens in that date. So this is when you guys are going to judge me. You're going to be like, so you deleted him and you never saw him or spoke to him. It's going to be a short video. Done. No. Because there are people, there are females, and I'm assuming males could do it too if, somebody was going to take them out. But for females, it's like this unspoken, sometimes spoken thing that sometimes females only go on dates for the free meal. I'm not that type of person. I went on a date with him because he seemed like a nice person and interesting, and I was being open-minded. So now he asked me on a second date, and I felt like obligated. Like I couldn't say no. Like I couldn't just be like, well, thank you for that meal, but no. Like I didn't feel like I could do that, and I felt really bad about it. So, I was like, hey, sure, let's go out, but I didn't want like just a one-on-one setting again. So I was like, let's go to the bar and we'll have a good time. And in my town, previously it was a college town, so there were plenty of bars to go to. So we just, went to the bar and hung out and everything, and I kind of got a little wasted that night. I think it was mainly because I was trying not to focus on Richard. So I was doing everything to distract me from Richard. I probably shouldn't have went, but I also didn't feel like I could say no. So we drank, we had fun. He dropped me back off. Yeah, everything went fine that time. And since everything went fine, then it led to the final situation. And I know what you guys are thinking. Like, before you just go and read my life down in the comment section and talking about something, well, that's stupid. Why would you even go out with him again? How you gonna talk about him now, but you went out with him then? Listen, first of all, don't judge me. You don't judge me. I don't judge you. We don't judge each other. So stop judging me. I was younger. I was nice. And I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So when he asked me out, because this is a short frame of time. Like, we went out on, like, let's say a Friday. We went to go drink on a Saturday. And then he might have asked me out the third time on, like, a Monday or Tuesday, something like that. So it was a short time frame. This wasn't a span of, many months, and I was leading him on. So he asked me out again, but this time, I was like, I don't really want to go anywhere. Didn't want to spend any money. Didn't want him to spend any money on me. Like, that's not what I wanted. And he was like, well, just come over, and we lived in the same town. So it was like, okay, I've seen him a couple times. Like I said, it's not like I felt threatened by him by any means. It's just he grossed me out the first date, telling me about his tooth. And then the second date went fine. So I was like putting that to the side. Like, he probably shouldn't have said anything. He was probably nervous. We all make mistakes. Done. So I go over there completely open mind. Like, okay, I'm going to go over there. We'll just chill for a little bit. We'll Netflix and chill without the weird, you know what I'm saying. Like, without that. Like, we'll just watch a movie and we'll talk and we'll just hang out. And at this point, I was just like, trying to figure out a way. How do I put him in the friend zone without being mean? Like, how do I say, hey, I really enjoy hanging out with you. You're cool peoples. I like to be friends type of thing. So anyway, back to the third time. So I get to his house, and as soon as I step in the door, it's filthy, guys. Like guy who lives alone and isn't the type that cleans up very often. So like the dishes, the sink was full of dishes. He had stuff like everywhere. I found a chair. Like he was sitting on the couch, and then like he had other stuff on the couch, and then there was a chair, like one of those maybe like a recliner chairs, but it was like a big chair, like a fluffy chair. And I didn't really want to sit in that chair, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit right here. I feel safe. Like I'm blocked off on either side. Like I feel safe here versus like being on the couch with him. And like I was completely like turned off to this whole situation. Like I did not want to be there, but I didn't know how to leave. Like I didn't know how to be like, ew, no. Like I just didn't know. Like now is different from me then. Like I'm still not a mean person. I still won't be like, ew, your house is gross. But I probably would have been like, yeah, man, you knew I was coming over. Why didn't you think to clean up? How about we reschedule this? Because no. But so we're there, and he decides that he wants to order pizza. So he orders pizza because he's hungry. And I went to go get some water. So I went to go get a cup and rinse it out. And so I got a cup and I went to go rinse. So I turned on the faucet. So the faucet like psh, into the sink. And before I could even like put the cup into the water, a whole bunch of gnats like started to fly up, and that was because he probably had left these dishes in there a very long time. But I was just like, oh, like I can't deal with grimy and gross. Like it just, oh, I just can't. And so like he was just like, what's wrong? You seem real quiet, blah blah. I was just like, I think I should go. Like I had been there for a while. I had been there for like, I don't know, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours at this point, and I was done. Like I was over it. Like I felt like I had did my time. I had been reasonable enough, kind enough. Like I was done. And so he walked me to my car and he was just like, you just seem a little off today. You're not your happy-go-lucky self. What's going on? I'm just like, I think that it would be best if me and you, are friends. I think, I really like hanging out with you. You seem like a nice person, and I just don't want things to go past that. And he was just like, okay. And so even after that, I, messaged him and was like, hey, why don't we hang out? I think we hung out like one other time after that, and not in a date setting, just like let's meet up at this place, and I pay for me, you pay for you, we just do friend things. And so it went all fine and everything, because it's like I don't need you to be some specific way. If you're my friend, you pull out teeth, maybe you won't have teeth, Oh, I didn't tell you guys. So at the dinner, I forgot to tell you, he snaps at the waitress like I had ordered some type of dessert item. It was like some type of apple pie crumble thing, and they didn't have the ice cream that's listed on the menu. So they came out with just like vanilla, and that's not a huge deal. It was just kind of like, oh, I'd rather have the ice cream that came with it. And he was just like, why didn't she get the ice cream that she ordered? And the waitress was like, I'm sorry, that ice cream has been discontinued. He's like, so why hasn't it been changed on the menu? And she was like, I don't know. I think that it's already in process. We get menus from corporate. It's been, a couple weeks. It's only been a couple weeks, so they haven't changed anything over. He was like, so why wouldn't it have been just as easy as putting something over it? And so I think, I'm thinking to myself, like, that's probably a nice amount of work to just put something over each one, depending on how many menus they have. And so I'm like kicking him up on it, like, stop, because it was embarrassing, because he was being loud, and it was just like, and so the woman was like, I could take off the dessert from your menu or your bill. And I was just embarrassed, like, oh, like, why are we so angry? Let's not be angry, guys. Like, there's no need to be angry. And so I tried to diffuse the situation, like, that's fine, everything's gonna be fine, everything else. Is like, why did you? It's like, because you should get what you want. And I'm like, yeah, and I appreciate that, but not so aggressive, please. And so, that was all said and done. So once we decided we were just gonna be friends, it was just kind of like, okay, like, you can have anger problems, you can pull out your teeth, you can not keep your house clean, I just won't come over to your house. But yeah, if we're friends, there's a whole different set of, qualifications or things that I want in a friend. And he was a nice person. We shared some of the same interests. Yeah, done. No biggie. So friends, fine. Anything more? No. And that honestly was my worst experience dating online. I had been out a couple times with other people, and they were fine. It just didn't work out. It never went anywhere after, we actually went out on a date. For whatever reason, either we weren't compatible, or they were too intense, or, it just wasn't there. But with him, he was the only other guy that I was completely, like, not interested in that manner, but like saw multiple times. And like I said, that was mainly because I just didn't know how to end it in a nice way, especially after the first date. So, but everything ended, and it ended on good terms. He was just kind of the type of person who talked bad about himself, and was just kind of like, I have no friends because no one likes me type of, like, self-deprecating comments and stuff like that. So, You know, there were other reasons. It wasn't just the tooth, or that he snapped on the waitress, or that his house wasn't clean. There were other things that, like red flags, that were coming up, and that would be a problem in a relationship. So it wasn't just that I was being, I don't know, petty or anything like that. It was other things, but those were the things that were like, oh no, you don't go out and tell people you pulled out a tooth. Like, you tell a family member that. You don't tell a girl that you're going on a first date with. You also, if somebody makes you mad, I feel like you should at least try to keep your cool, because nobody wants to feel like somebody's gonna snap on them in that manner. And then, as far as, you thinking bad things about yourself, honestly, I feel like you need to have that. You need to have that until, probably a year in, and then lay it on them. Like, here's my baggage. I'm just kidding. Don't hide your baggage, guys. Deal with your baggage before you get into a serious relationship, or else it'll just keep coming back up. But that was my date from hell, guys. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, please like and share this video. It really does help. And thank you to all my new subscribers. Also, tell me, what have your dates from hell been? Did you ever gone on a date that just didn't go well, or was there some really bad things that happened while dating this person? Go ahead and drop me a comment down in the comment section. I don't even know why I tell you guys, because you're not going to do it, but whatever. Just do it. Just do it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.